Good evening, good evening. We got ourselves another student game here. Student had the black pieces and kept a good fight against a strong player JCU who played a 93% game. Played a good fight and then lost something in the middle game. So going to be something important to review. Let's have a look. We got this Grunfeldian big center setup. Personally, personally, I don't advocate for playing like this. It's not that it's wrong or anything. It's just big center. I think is always easier to play. It's like a cheat code. The computer says it's equal, but is it really? I think that's a good capture there. And now one has to understand like the principles of these positions is that somehow you're going to try to attack here and he's going to try to push this forward. And for the most part, you've got no real shot against him because your bishop needs to find a way to get all the way here to dislodge its main defender, which is not going to happen. So instead we have, I like this move. This is a good quality move. Quality move, simple play, good development, very pure chess. Very pure chess. I quite enjoy this so far. And now comes the interesting moves, right? It could be tempting to think bishop check, but it really doesn't do anything. I quite like the idea of bishop here. If he captures, then you capture back, and you've still got him hopping to do something, and then you've got a knight check here. So that's pretty good. And if he takes the pawn, it's a bit of a poison pawn, so you can push him back. You might have to go here, and then you capture down, and then you double down on your attack here. So yeah, bishop there. That's the quality A move you want to start trying to make now. The move which gives away a pawn, a poisoned pawn. Typically the G2 and B2 pawns, or G7, B7, those are kind of poisonous pawns if the rook is able to come here and recapture back. It often comes back with impunity. Okay? So, but this is also fine. It's fine, guys. We're fine. Fine. But you can see it's somehow slipping away. It's somehow slipping away. Like, okay, yes, this was nice. But what's really needed is, I think, a move like bishop here and castles. Simply that. Okay. Black is choosing to play a certain style of chess. It's a prophylactic, a cautious style. A style of I got this. I'm just going to hold it all together because I got this. But you do have a dark squared bishop which is blocked by your own pawns. And you should probably consider trading should the opportunity arise. The only problem is if you capture here and he captures there, this pawn becomes a huge liability. And now we're getting into that segment of the game here. So I would very much go for a knight hop there to try to muddy the waters, but this is also not bad. And now important to try to figure out a good move here. Bishop here is kind of safe looking, but I also like bishop here because it guards against the rook infiltration. Don't have to worry about now. And this is a pivotal moment in the game, right? It's the end of the middle game and the start of the end game, kind of. So you want to really take your time to play a good move here. And I would say, hand on my heart, king here is the way to go. Rook here next. Try to trade off some tension and then use your advantaged king to try to do something. But that's also a pretty good move. I didn't see that actually. I was concerned about this, and I guess he's got to go that way now. We found a different path. But this is also a pretty good path for him. But this is a tough position to play. I know it says it's equal, but this is actually objectively tough because he's got all his pieces that can attack this fairly easily. And the king looks a little bit vulnerable. The rooks don't have an efficient way to get in. So let's see what happens. Okay, it stays kind of even keeled, however. And quality play. Now definitely you should take this. I think this is the kind of time where you should take, because your king has such a good position, except the pawn here it's kind of like a wonderful blockade that this knight and pawn have formed. That's kind of a unique position, a unique structural aspect of the endgame, which is going to make it tricky for black. Going to make it very tricky. But all you got to do is, I guess, stay patient. Stay patient. He can't break in through here. He can't break in through here. So it's a draw. He can't break in. But he is slowly starting to do what we feared he may do. And time, the pressure. This is a tough endgame. Tough endgame position to see that this might be somehow not optimal. I have to admit I was thinking of that move too, just because it would make it harder for him to play this. But the point is, he's going to play that anyway. He can play that anyway, for sure. So king here, we gotta understand it better. Why is king there better? What happens after the follow-up? Well, not a huge difference. And now, if instead you do this, well, it's the same thing, but now the king infiltrates. I think that's the key point. The king finds a way to infiltrate. This is somewhat instructive. The point is to not allow the king to infiltrate here, which is what happens if you move this pawn up, because ultimately this pawn is no longer defended. If you just keep this pawn here and this pawn here defending this one, you make sure the king doesn't infiltrate. That was the whole point of this endgame. Very instructive, very difficult to see. But he misses his chance. And now what? Still not clear. Still not clear, and a soft move and an allowance of the infiltrating king. The infiltrating king. And this is too much. Yeah, it's too much. Alright. Well, very instructive game there. Very instructive game. Yeah. What I can say is, in an even endgame like this, it's important to just manage to hold your nerve and just move the king around, but keep it somewhat centralized and make it hard for the enemy king to angle in. All right, catch you later.